Hi guys, welcome back to Books, Tea and Biscuits, and in this video it's not a book review, you're going to get to know Jo. So
Hello.
I'm the interviewer this time asking the questions and Jo's going to be answering for us.
Help.
So let's get going. So Jo, we first met because I put a post on Facebook, and the first production we did was Snow White.
Yeah.
Did you like that production? Did you like what parts you had?
I only had the one part, and that was the old lady who gives Snow White the
Your nose
apple.
fell off.
And the fake nose fell off on the first night, and I ad-libbed. I said I wasn't going to go back to that shop again or something like that. And then the next night, the apples fell out the basket, and Snow White couldn't choose it, so I took one off the floor and said, "I'll have this one." And neither of us could stop laughing, so we couldn't look at each other while we were, me and Snow White that was, while we were sort of having our scene. But I enjoyed it because of the mistakes, really.
Yeah.
When everything goes normal, it can be okay, but it was so funny and everybody laughed. They laughed more at that, I think, than they did at anything else.
The whole show. So obviously in our amateur dramatics company we do mainly panto and one-act plays.
We do.
What is your favourite theatre shows? What genre is your favourite to go and see?
Oh, to see? Well, I like comedies. I really am into comedies, but it's got to be a good comedy. And whodunits. I love Agatha Christie. And I would love to see Mousetrap, which has been running and running and running and running.
That?
I know, but it's like the mouse going round in the wheel. It's been running like that, hasn't it? The Mousetrap. So it'd be like whodunits I like, and the comedies, and obviously musicals, because I just love musicals, like Chicago. I'd love to play Roxy Hart in Chicago.
Not Thelma?
No.
Okay. So on that note, Jo, if there was one play that you yourself could write into a book,
Oh, flip.
what play would it be?
A play that's already
Obviously.
not one I've got to make up, oh thank goodness for that. To put in a book.
Like a book's already not been written about it, like Wicked or The Wizard of Oz. Is there a play that you like that much you would write a book about it?
No.
No.
I don't think. I'm not saying I don't like any of the plays I've seen, because except for one which I won't mention, or two that I won't mention. I think we mentioned one, didn't we? But one I won't mention, so I don't want to upset anybody. I don't think I've sat through one that I thought that would make a great book. I've enjoyed them for all different reasons, but I don't think I've ever thought, oh, haven't they written this yet? You know, haven't they made this into a book? So I don't think I've been to one yet that I would bless.
So if you were writing a book about yourself, what would it be called?
Oh, God.
Told you I'd get you.
Oh, yeah, you did, didn't you? Writing a book about myself, what would it be called? I don't know. I don't know, because I'm quite indecisive. Well, I think I am. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you.
That's indecisiveness.
Is it? I wasn't sure. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I've never really thought about having a book written about me. The Carer. I don't know.
Okay. Shall we come back to that at the end?
I would, yeah. Might have time to think of something funny.
Okay. So, right, next question. So you're interviewing David Attenborough. The legend.
The legend that is David Attenborough.
Aside from nature questions, what would you ask him?
I think The one thing I would ask him is, if you hadn't gone into this field, would you have become an actor like your brother?
Richard Attenborough.
Mm-hmm. Sir Richard, or a director like Sir Richard, or whether he'd have wanted to be a singer.
Can he sing?
I don't know.
Nobody knows, only him. So, okay. You walk into Waterstones.
Oh, God.
For people that aren't in the UK, Waterstones is a bookstore in the UK. Just wanted to clear that up. You walk into Waterstones and you've got a gift voucher of only £10, but there's 3 books you want to choose from. Mindhunter, a new, like, say 50th anniversary edition.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
The new, just trying to think what I was going to say. There's a new James Patterson book and it's got critical acclaim, 5 stars out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Or there's a new David Eddings book.
Is there?
If there was, out of them 3.
Oh.
So it's a new David Eddings book, a new Mindhunter book, or James Patterson.
Well, I like James Patterson, don't get me wrong, but he's not, it's not something I read regularly. David Eddings, I just love his books.
Oh, no.
I do, I love them. I've got all of them.
I know.
But I think it would have to be the new Mindhunter. The reason being is that everything in there, it would presumably give you an update on the updates and stuff like that, and you would still read the same stories because that's what it would be about.
Yeah.
But obviously you then know, oh, this happened to that guy now, or this one's now been executed, or whatever. So I think I'd want Mindhunter. I do like fiction. I do love fiction because you can totally lose yourself and forget all about what's going on in the world and just lose yourself. But I also really like the Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
So I'd want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do believe there's a second book, and I think it's called Into Darkness.
I've got it.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
That is very good.
Yeah. I did hear that. So, next question. Are you ready?
I think so. I'm not sure now.
You're really nervous.
I'm getting worried now.
So, because we both like being the definitive word, fascinated with serial killers and the criminal mind.
Right.
What is the one serial killer that you're most fascinated with?
Ooh.
One. You've got one choice only.
Wick. Now you're asking. I would say I think it would need to be the Green River Killer.
Gary Ridgway.
Yeah. I was umming and ahhing between him and Arthur Shawcross, but I think he's got it just to the point.
He's sicko, wasn't he?
Oh, wasn't he just?
Okay. So, what's your favourite genre of book to read?
Well, obviously, it's science fiction fantasy because David Eddings, but I also like the classics.
Mm.
You know, I like the Greeks. I'm into Greeks,
Yeah.
as they say. So, you know, I like Shakespeare, and it's just many genres I like because it depends on my mood, really. It really does depend on my mood. But mainly it is David Eddings.
What is one thing you wanted to be when you was older?
Well, there was two things I wanted to be when I was older.
And what are they?
I wanted to be a witch and I wanted to be a vet. I was 5 when I made that decision.
Okay. If we wasn't here doing this right now, what do you think you'd be doing?
Well, I'd be at home with Mum, really,
Yeah.
looking after Mum. But if I wasn't doing that, I'd hopefully be at work.
Yeah.
But if this was still going on, the lockdown, I'd be reading, listening to music, or maybe even watching DVDs, which I love to watch DVDs.
Yeah.
Got a major collection of DVDs.
Okay.
You name it, I've got it.
Yeah. Right. This is just a random question, and I saw it the other day, but I thought I'd ask it you. So you find £1,000 on the floor,
Oh, God.
but you've only got half an hour to spend it. What do you spend it on?
Oh, that'll be easy. There's loads of stuff that I want to get from the Cats in Space merchandise.
So just pimp out your house with that then.
You know, mugs and more albums and T-shirts and even the guys, I wouldn't mind buy them. Or Moody Glue stuff. Again.
If we continued on the path of acting like we wanted to do, and we actually became professional, who's one celebrity you'd like to work with?
Oh God, I think I'd love to work with Brian Cox,
Yeah, he's
the
good.
actor. Not the professor. Nothing against you, Professor Brian Cox, because you're really good. But Brian Cox, he's just brilliant. He's good at what he does, and he's got a bit of a mischievous side of him. So I've been given to understand. So he'd be fun, I think.
If we went to London to see the Mousetrap, do you think you'd faint?
Because the amount of times we've said that we're going to go, it'd be just my luck that when we got there and they say, sorry, we can't put it on.
I know, we've been wanting to go for ages.
Definitely. I would faint, I think, but it wouldn't be for long.
I know the answer to this question, but just for our viewers, have you ever read Harry Potter?
No.
Would you want to read Harry Potter?
Maybe, because I really enjoyed the films. And I think once you've got the films under your belt, you know the books aren't going to be the same. There's going to be some differences because of either they wouldn't have been able to film a particular thing or it would have been impossible to do that. But the fact that J.K. Rowling was the one who did the changes made it better. Yeah. So I think, I don't think it would ruin the films now. Because just for the viewers, I'm a stickler for if you're going to make a film of a book, you make the film of the book. You don't change it. You don't put stuff in the film that's not in the book, or you don't take things out or add them in. Like certain particular film where the first elf scene is a woman and it's not in the book, it's a male elf.
Oh.
No, I'm a stickler. It's just me. I think if you're going to do a book, then you do it. You don't change. If you can't, I accept that you can't do everything because it would be impossible, or it might not work. It probably wouldn't work. But it's like The Devil Rides Out. Now I've read that book because I love that book, and I saw the film. Mistake, because in the film it starts off where Dilly Shrew meets Rex Fenrir off a plane, and that's not how it starts. So of course that got me annoyed.
Okay, so I know that you like Shakespeare.
I do.
What's your favourite Shakespeare play?
It's A Midsummer Night's Dream. I love it.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Stretford-upon-Avon?
I have, yes.
And did you visit the cottage, Anne Hathaway's cottage?
No. Years ago, I went with a friend and her family. We went to Stratford-on-Avon and it was so crowded, it was unbelievable. But we did go to the waxworks there and had a look. And yeah, they were great. And we saw the building, you know. But we never went in. We didn't go to the theatre or nothing. But, you know, we didn't get to see anything particularly interesting because it was just too crowded.
Okay. Do you like poetry?
I do. I like some poetry. I'm not. I like Burns, Rabbie Burns. I don't know whether that's his Scottish side of the family, but I like Rabbie Burns, and I like the Song of Hiawatha. That is really beautiful. And the Rudyard Kipling, he wrote some beautiful poems, like If, which you recited once,
Yes,
didn't
I did.
you? You did a really good job of that, actually. Considering how long that poem is, you did it brilliantly.
I hope so.
But in Just So Stories, there's a poem after every story, and there's a poem after one story. It's how the alphabet was made, and the poem on that always makes me cry.
Now, I know, Jo, that you've always been an avid reader ever since you can remember. Do you remember what the first book is you ever read?
First book I ever read was Just So Stories
By Rudyard Kipling.
by Rudyard Kipling. That was before I went to school, and at school obviously it was like Janet and John and stuff like that. But Rudyard Kipling, because I was taught to read by my parents, and that was the book they used.
Okay. If Agatha Christie was still alive and we was able to do an interview with her, what would you ask her?
Oh God, there'd be so. Well, I think the main one would be, where were you? Where did you
For
go
the amnesia
for that time that you went missing? Where did you go? Because everybody wants to know that.
I know. But they knew where she went, but why?
Well, okay, yeah. Where did you go? Why did you go there? And what did you do while you were there?
I'd ask her why she killed off Poirot. I'm not happy about it.
Well, I mean, he was getting on.
So's Marple.
Yeah, but you know, she gets so many different ages in different films.
Yeah.
Whereas he's always elderly, sort of.
What's your favourite Marple?
Who's my favourite Marple?
No, what episode or book is your favourite?
Oh, right. I think it's Murder, she said. I like that.
I like 450 from Paddington.
That is good. Yeah,
that's my
that
favourite
is
one.
good. Yeah.
Do you think, if we was able to, do you think you'd be going to the Agatha Christie Festival next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely. But would you go in costume?
Yes. No, hands down, would go in costume. Would you?
Oh God, yeah.
So the next question being, if you could be reborn into a different era, what era would it be?
Oh, it's got to be the 1920s.
And me.
Definitely. I'm a 1920s person. I love the flapper dresses. 1920s, 1930s, because the gowns in the 1930s were very, very beautiful and very feminine.
So a couple of years ago, we jumped out of a plane for
We did.
dementia.
We did.
And we did a bungee jump from 15,000 feet. Would you do it again?
It wasn't a
Not a
bungee
bungee
jump.
Parachute jump out of an
Yeah,
airplane.
we did a free fall 2,000 feet, and then when I mean it was we did have a professional with us. It was he was like connected, and he
Tandem, yeah.
yeah, and then when the chute opened, we went back up 2,000. So we went up 15,000 feet, didn't we? And would I do it again? If it's for charity, I couldn't just do it because I'm petrified of heights.
Yeah.
But charity makes me do it because I'm thinking they're dependent on that, so I'll do it. So yeah, I mean, I was the first one out the plane,
I remember.
which was
couldn't look
so
at it, yeah.
scary, so scary. It
Did you
really
have your
was.
eyes closed or
No, I
open?
was told I wasn't allowed to have my eyes closed because the guy that was taking the film, he said, "Don't close your eyes. You mustn't close your eyes, Joe." So there's me with my eyes open, thinking, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And when you get out, you have to put your
Your legs under the plane.
yeah, under the plane. I'm thinking, I'm out of a plane here. I've got no way of getting back in. So, but it was quite surreal, wasn't it? The way it's so noisy and your ears hurt and everything. And I thought I'd burst my eardrums, which obviously I hadn't. And then you go up and you're under the canopy and it's so quiet. You could hear literally a pin drop, couldn't you? And it's really, and it doesn't look high. 15,000 feet up is not as high as standing on a ladder. I found out. standing on a ladder is far higher. Because it just seems so surreal, doesn't it? You think, oh, it's not that high. If I was a giant, I could put my foot down. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling as well because it feels like your eardrums burst. And I kept saying to Joe, my ears hurt, my ears hurt. It's a blood, it's a blood. I was like, it's a blood. Because I thought my eardrums had burst.
This is obviously when we got back down.
Yeah.
Because we weren't on the same parachute.
No. So, one more question, I think. So, it's going to be a quick fire round. I'm going to ask you five different...
She said she was going to get me, didn't she?
Okay. David Jason or David Attenborough?
Oh, they're different things entirely, aren't they? You've got one that's...
You've got to choose. David Jason or David Attenborough?
Yes.
To which one? David Jason or Norman Wisdom?
Norman Wisdom.
Salt or pepper?
Neither.
You don't like any?
I don't like either.
I'd have had salt. Fish or chips?
Ah, chips.
And me. Chips or crisps?
Chips.
Chips, hands down.
You can't get oven crisps.
No.
I don't like crisps.
You can get baked crisps though.
Yeah, but I don't like crisps.
No, true. Okay. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Tea, obviously.
Tea.
Cake or biscuits?
Oh. It depends on what the cake and the biscuits are.
Jaffa cakes or lemon puffs?
Lemon puffs.
Black or white?
I like both. They're my favourite colours.
To wear as like clothing? Okay. Detective or sci-fi?
Detective. I think I'd have made a good spy.
Yeah, she would have. If you could write a play that you wanted me to star in, what play would it be and who would I play? That was my question.
Right, so it's any play, one that's even been written. So if I think, oh, this is a toughie. Not a toffee, it's a toughie. It's the way I talk, isn't it, Phil? I would say, I think I'd like I think I would have liked to have written an Agatha Christie, not necessarily the Mousetrap, but a whodunit, and I would have you probably as the perpetrator.
Oh, that sounds good.
Because they get more meaty lines.
Yeah.
And they're there all through. Yeah. So I would probably have you as the perpetrator because, you know, I think you do it well.
So last question. What's your favourite alcoholic beverage?
Well, I don't really drink alcohol much. Very rarely now. Various reasons, but the main one being Mum being so poorly. But I like Asti. But I've got to say, it's got to be a cocktail. And it's got to be porn star martini.
Really nice. Some places it's called a porn star martini, other places it's called a passion fruit martini. I think it's the same thing.
It is.
It's really nice.
So it doesn't make any difference. You can call it porn star or passion fruit, but it's a lovely cocktail. Lovely.
So thank you, Jo, for answering my questions.
Toughies. You said you were going to give me some tough ones.
I did. Thank you for watching, guys. I did make a few mistakes because I forgot some of the questions I was asking. But anyway, just laugh through it because we laugh at ourselves anyway.
All the time.
All the time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next video, which is another book review.
Bye.
Bye.